Okay, so let's get right into it. We all have this idea of transforming our lives, right? But the thought of these huge, monumental changes is just overwhelming. But what if I told you the secret isn't about some massive leap? What if it's all about these tiny, almost invisible steps that you take every single day? Well, that's exactly the powerful idea we're going to unpack here.
No, really. Just for a second. Picture that. Imagine your day isn't hijacked by notifications and a flood of emails, but instead, it's guided by your intentions. It sounds almost too good to be true, but I promise you, it's totally possible. And it all starts with the smallest of actions.
And here's where the magic really happens. The math behind these small changes is just mind-blowing. If you get just 1% better every day, you barely even notice it. But here's the thing about compounding. Over a year, you don't just get a little better. You become 37 times better. That is the incredible power we're about to tap into.
So what exactly is a micro-habit? Look, we're not talking about deciding to run a marathon tomorrow. We're talking about actions that are so ridiculously easy, they're almost impossible to say no to. Like doing one push-up, or reading just a single page of a book. These are the tiny little seeds that grow into massive, life-altering change.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with your morning, then move right through the middle of the day, and finish with how you wind down in the evening. By the time we're done, you're going to have a complete blueprint for making this happen.
All right, let's jump in. How you start your day, well, it pretty much sets the tone for everything else. These first few habits are all about winning the morning before the day even has a chance to fight back.
Okay, this first one is an absolute game changer. It's called the digital door rule, and it's so simple. Before you open that digital door, your phone, to a whole world of stress and other people's problems, you have to complete just one small, real-world task first.
And this just lays it out perfectly. Look at the left, the reactive morning. You grab your phone and bam, you're immediately sucked into a tornado of other people's needs. But on the right, you have the intentional morning. You act first. You get a tiny little win, like making your bed or just drinking a glass of water before all the noise of the world gets to you.
And this is the critical shift that happens in your brain. When you grab your phone first thing, you're basically firing up all the anxious, reactive parts of your mind. But when you complete a small task first, you're lighting up the part of your brain that's in charge of focus and good decisions. You're building momentum from the very first minute, and you're teaching your brain that you are in control, not your phone.
All right, on to our next morning habit. This one builds right on top of that foundation of control we just talked about. This is all about getting crystal clear on your day before you dive in. We're calling it the 5-minute sunrise check-in.
So before you even look at a screen, just take 5 minutes of quiet and ask yourself these 3 simple questions. First, what is the one thing I absolutely must get done today? Second, how can I make today just a little bit better than yesterday? And third, what's my main focus for the day? This tiny habit acts like a GPS for your attention. Without it, your mind just wanders. With it, you move with purpose.
Okay, so you've won the morning. Awesome. But now comes the real challenge, right? The midday slump, the procrastination, the endless distractions. These next habits, think of them as your personal toolkit for staying sharp.
This might be the most powerful trick to beat procrastination I've ever found. It's called the 60-second rule, and it's designed for those moments when you feel totally overwhelmed, or frankly, you just can't be bothered to start.
Here's how ridiculously simple it is. Whatever it is you're avoiding, just promise yourself you'll do it for 1 minute. 60 seconds, that's it. See, the secret is that starting is always the hardest part. Our brain fights the idea of the work. But the moment you start, your brain gives you a little hit of dopamine as a reward, and that action creates momentum. You'll be surprised how often that 60 seconds just naturally turns into 10 or 20 minutes.
So how do you make these new habits actually stick without just relying on pure, exhausting willpower? Well, you use a little trick. You attach the new habit to something you already do on autopilot. It's called habit pairing, and it makes building new routines feel almost effortless. And these are some perfect examples. Think about it. Your brain already has a well-worn path, a superhighway for habits like brushing your teeth. By linking a new habit to that old one, you're basically just building a little on-ramp right onto that existing highway. It makes the new habit feel automatic so much faster.
Now for a habit that isn't about doing more, but about doing less. Discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to do hard things. It's also about protecting your focus. The say no micro habit is like your shield.
And you can start small. Say no to an extra 10 minutes of scrolling. Say no to that junk food you don't really need. Every single no strengthens your discipline muscle. It's such a small act with a huge payoff.
And you know, protecting that focus isn't just a 9-to-5 job. How you end your day is every bit as important as how you start it. The goal here is to intentionally recharge your batteries, not just distract yourself with TV until you pass out. This is all about setting yourself up for a great day tomorrow.
Life gets stressful. That tension builds up inside us. This simple little ritual is an incredibly powerful tool to just release that pressure and stop burnout in its tracks. And the best part, you can do it anytime, anywhere, in less than 2 minutes.
Just follow this simple pattern. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 2, and then breathe out slowly for 4 seconds. Just do that a few times. What this does is send a direct signal to your nervous system to just chill out. It literally reduces tension, improves your focus, and can totally shift your mental state.
Most of us end our day bathed in the blue glow of a screen. This habit is the antidote to that. Before you go to sleep, give yourself the gift of just 10 minutes of total silence. No screens, no podcasts, no music. Just quiet. This lets your brain process the day. It lowers your stress hormones, and it dramatically improves the quality of your sleep.
Okay, this next one, this is a big one. It's foundational. Self-trust, that's the bedrock of all confidence. And the only way you build it is by keeping the promises you make to yourself. So before you sleep, just take 1 second to think, what was one tiny promise I made to myself today, and did I keep it? Maybe it was drinking that glass of water or reading that one page. Every time you follow through, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground. So now let's pull it all together into a blueprint that you can actually start using, like right now. This isn't just a random list of habits, it's a complete toolkit for your transformation.
Here's the most important thing to remember. Don't think of this as some rigid, all-or-nothing routine. Think of it as a toolkit. Feeling unfocused? Grab the 5-minute check-in. Procrastinating on something? Use that 60-second rule. Feeling like your confidence is low? Keep one small promise. You just mix and match them based on what you need each day to build the life you actually want.
And that brings us to the end. But look, the power in all of this isn't in just knowing it, right? It's in doing it. So I'll just leave you with this one question. Forget about tomorrow or next week. What is the one small, almost laughably simple promise that you are going to make and keep for yourself today? Just start there.